All right, y'all. You will not believe my story. So I'm just reading the comments, right? Because I don't really know what this is about. The top comment, at least from what I can see, it says, Jesus saved you. You need to emphasize that. So let's see what's up. It sounds like some like demon type stuff. So let's see what's going on.
I'm going to tell you a story that I know a lot of people are not going to believe because this story is like freaking crazy. But if you're in the spiritual community, I know you guys are going to believe it. But back in 2017, I was married and my husband passed away tragically. So about 4 years ago, I decided to start getting back into the dating community and see if I could reconnect with somebody after doing all the healing. I went online and I signed up for one of those dating sites, and I was, having fun, meeting a lot of nice people, but I wasn't making any connection with anybody because at that time I was starting to get back into my spiritual point of view in life, and I was trying to figure out things with myself, and I wanted a partner that reflected where I was going with my life. So I found this person. We matched online with this man, and this man was very, very, very good looking, and everything on paper looked great. And I was like, wow, this guy seems like a catch. So we went on our first date, and when I go on dates with people back then, when I used to go on dates, one of the things, as being an intuitive person, I like to hug people because I can feel things immediately. So I said, hey, I'm a hugger. He said, well, I'm a little reserved. So he reached out and gave me his hand. The minute I shook his hand felt a little clammy, and immediately I told myself something is different about this person. It just didn't feel right. And it's something in my body told me run away. But he looked at me. He had big blue eyes. Also, this man was very, very tall, about 6'4", 6'5" feet, very pale. And he looked at me directly, and he was like, oh, everything, come in. We're going to have a great time. So we go into the restaurant, and I sat across him, and the whole night he was talking, in my mind was just going, what is it? Why, what's going on? I couldn't pinpoint what was wrong with this person, but the whole time I knew something was off. So by the end of the night, I said, hey, buddy, whatever his name was. I can't remember. I know his name, but I'm not going to say it. I was like, hey, I had a really good time, but I don't think things are going to work out. He looked me straight in the eye and said something. And I found myself telling him, well, we're going to see each other next week. Well, so next week, the whole week, I'm just feeling weird, guys. Very, very weird. I'm like, something's just off. But I would try to text him and say, or go on the app, and say, I just couldn't get to do it. I don't know what was happening. So we go on our second date. We go into town and do some walking around. The whole time, I feel like it's weird. It's a weird feeling, like it's not me, but it's me. Like I'm just walking around, and I felt very disorientated the whole time I was with this person. Same thing. I finally, at the end of the day, I said, hey, I don't feel very good. I want to go home, but I don't think things are going to work out. I said this to this person. And again, this person convinced me to go on a third date. And the worst part is he convinces me to go and visit him at his place. So a couple of days later, I showed up, and this whole time I'm driving, I'm feeling like run. But at the same time, there was this pull, a huge pull to go see this person. Mind me, third date, I am going to this person's house, and my heart is beating very, very, very hard. And I was like, why am I here? Like, am I being hypnotized? Like, what is going on? So I get to his house, and for some reason, he had dirty dishes, and I started doing his dishes. And he comes from behind me, and he kind of like hugs me. And then I looked at him and I said, something's not right. Can you please tell me what is going on with you?
Dang.
And then he's like, well, okay, let's go talk in the living room. So we go into his living room and we sit down. And guys, he did this. He went like this. Like, he shook. And what I saw, I cannot say on TikTok. But when he shook, his whole face changed. Wow, I can't talk. His whole face changed. I was so scared, guys. I was so scared. I started praying inside. I started claiming the blood of Jesus, and I started asking for help and strength to leave that place. I did everything in my possibility to get off that couch and say, hey, I need to leave. And he said, you are one of a kind. He says, nobody has ever been able to see who I am.
Wow.
And he let me go. So I want you guys to realize that the world is not what you think. The world is not what you think. And I experienced it one-on-one. There are people here who are not people. This is my light. I want to hear if anyone has a story like this, or if you experience something like this, because more of us need to come out and speak the truth about there are people that are amongst us and they are not people. Anyways, I love you. Bye.
What did she see? I'm not even trying to be funny, but when he hit, you know what I'm saying? When he hit one of those, because she said she didn't want to say it on TikTok because she didn't want to get, she didn't want to get censored. What did she see? She said, I started claiming the blood of Jesus. Now I understand the comment, because you're exactly right. You need to emphasize. I was going to say empathize because I've been saying that a lot recently. You need to emphasize that Jesus saved you, because you said first date, and hey, kudos to you, because you had the discernment and you knew something was off. You didn't just blindly go into it, because here's the thing. You could have just blindly just said, hey, this dude look good. He's 6'4", 6'5", you know what I'm saying? You could have just fallen into that, which a lot of people do, men and women. We just fall for the looks, right? And we just let everything else pass because they look good. You were not like that, though. You said, you know what? Something is off. Something tell me to run and never look back. But at the same time, you felt this pull to where you were just stuck. And that happened all the way to what you said, the third or fourth date. The third date, you're at his house. You went from something's telling me to run and never look back to the third date, I'm at your house doing your dishes. And what got you out of that? Claiming the blood of Jesus, calling on Jesus to help you. That is significant. We do need to empathize. We need to focus on that. Bakumba said, in Islam, we believe there are two mankind on earth, humans and jinns. We cannot see jinns, but they can see us. Sometimes, but very rarely, they may show themselves. They can also possess a human body and you won't be aware of it. Read about it. And then she said, thank you for the information. I will research. Hey, you don't need to read. Hey, all due respect, you don't need to research nothing, because you already got the one that you need to research, the one that saved you, the one that got you up out of that. The one that got you up out of that, the one that broke them chains, that's the one you need to research. But once again, hey, that's a dope story. And to have that discernment in that situation, hey, I applaud you for that. And to also just have the awareness to call upon the one who can break that chain, I applaud you for that as well. I do. What do y'all think? Get in my comments, like this video. Y'all see this gray hair? Act like you don't see it. Just act like you don't see it. Because they say if you pull it, then it comes back like 10 times. So I'm not at the just for men stage yet. I'm just not at that stage. I'm in between. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Get in my comments, like this video. I'm out, y'all.